Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to our team huddle on July 26th. Oh, I really want to leave it in gallery view, but I'm gonna put it in speaker for the replay. Okay, so tonight we are talking about mindset, and we are going to, yes, I love that song. Okay, sorry for the people catching the replay. We were listening to Millionaire by Cash Cash featuring Nelly to get us pumped up and ready for this mindset call. How do you get a copy of it, Taylor? I don't know. I have iTunes and I do the Apple Music subscription and I can download it. It looks, oops, hold on. It looks like this. This. You can also look it up on, it's like a greenish background. I don't think it's showing you the color pretty clearly, but maybe I can share it with you. I'll try that after the call. Just remind me. Okay. So tonight we're going to be talking about mindset and how important that is, especially, well, I mean, all the time, but we are at the end of our month of July and we're at the end of quite a few things that are going to be big for our businesses. So it's super, super important that we all make sure we are checking our mindset right now. So mindset is everything. You're going to hear this if you haven't already heard it, which I don't know how you would have never heard it, but you're going to hear it like a broken record. Mindset can make or break you and your business, and not just you in the sense of your business owner, but you as the person as well. I saw a quote earlier that said, your life is as good as your mindset. And that really is true. And I kind of made me reflect a little bit on how I would have thought about things and situations in the past, like more than 3 years ago, before I started money versus how I think about things now. And even now, even though I know how important mindset is, you guys, I am still equally guilty of letting my mindset get the best of me especially on tough days or when life is just hitting me with curveball after curveball after curveball. So I did want to let you know, like in preparing for this call, that the stars all kind of aligned and I thought it was really awesome. So I wanted to point out a few things that happened so that you can see. I truly feel like things happen for a reason and we are brought to things for a reason. So there's someone who's either on this call tonight or watching the replay who needed to hear what is going to be said. And I am one of those people, but I'm sure there's others. So I put out there in our leader group chat that you get into when you're an MMB and above, just asking if anyone's teams were kind of struggling with anything or needing to have anything touched on that we haven't talked about in a little bit of time. And Ryan suggested mindset because it just keeps coming up and it always will keep coming up. And shortly after that, well, this morning, I have the Maxwell Daily Reader. Funny enough, my mom introduced me to this book from her boss, and they read it every single morning at their leadership huddles in the morning. And today's title was Get Over Yourself. And I thought that was pretty funny, but it starts off saying, many people believe that touching the lives of others can be done only by some elite group of specifically gifted people. But that is not the case. Any ordinary person can make a positive impact on the lives of others. Some unsuccessful people tell themselves that as soon as they achieve considerable success or discover some unseen talent, they will turn their attention to making a difference in the lives of others. But I have news for them. Many people who struggle with chronic failure do so because they think of no one but themselves. They worry about what other people will think of them. They scramble to make sure no one gets the better of them. They continually focus on protecting their turf. If you continually focus all your energy and attention on yourself, I have a message for you. Get over yourself. Everyone else has. If you have a history of repeated failure and you dedicate most of your time and energy to looking out for number one, you may need to learn a new way of thinking where others come first. And it asks, in what way must you get over yourself to put your focus on others? So you wouldn't typically think of me as like a person who's like thinking of themselves first, but I will say this month, I have not been thinking of others and how I can help others. And so I was like, holy moly. So that was a big wake up call for like my mindset this month hasn't necessarily been the best. And then I hopped on the Millionaire Makers call, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'm going to talk more about that a little bit later, but, and actually a lot of my points are going to come from that. And then I'll add to and kind of go from there. But that was kind of the third thing that aligned. And then after that call, sorry, my phone, I thought it was on vibrate. After that call, I had actually started reading the Maxwell Leadership Bible, which for anyone who doesn't know is an actual Bible, and it's where John Maxwell will take portions of it and dedicate like little blurbs of how it can tie into leadership. And the very next page I turned to after that call was about vision. And this first paragraph said, while followers may obsess on the challenges immediately before them, leaders see the future from a distance. They dream dreams not only about what can happen now, but also about what can happen in the next year, the next decade, even the next generation. And then it goes on to talk about the lessons of it, like what a God-given vision looks like. But I was like, wow, this is all aligning with goals, vision, like everything was kind of aligning together. And then I saw 2 of Ryan's stories talking about, she shared the quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are absolutely right. And she was talking about how Matt and how he wasn't like the smartest or the top of his class, but he had a vision and he stuck to it and he put in a lot of hard work and he got to where he is today because of that. And so then there was another quote that I want to share at the end of the call that I saw in my For You area, and it was the vibe of the day. And I will read that to you later. It's just crazy how everything was kind of coming together. So, but today, during the Millionaire Makers call this morning, she was talking about your want power, which is also from John Maxwell, funny enough. And she said the key to willpower, or she said she heard him say the key to willpower is your want power. And I'm going to like tweak that after hearing her whole thing today and say your desire power, because I'm going to share a definition of want with you later versus desire, and that'll help you see why we're going to change that to your desire power. How bad do you desire something? How bad do you desire these goals that you're working for? And are you desiring them enough to keep you going no matter what, to bat it out and face all of the challenges that life is throwing at you and is going to keep throwing at you? Because life is going to keep being life, you guys. We're going to keep having curveballs and roadblocks that we have no control over whatsoever. And Bianca was saying this morning, one of the quotes that she has heard recently that she's been really repeating in her head, kind of like a mantra, is plan for chaos. So in our plan, like everyone likes to have a plan and like think about, okay, this is where I'm going to be going and this is what's going to happen. But you need to know in your head, something is going to throw you off track. And that is where I know I am going to be completely real and raw and say, I struggle with that so much, especially this summer. I had all these goals, all these desires, all these aspirations of like working my business. Like, yes, I'm going to be 100% on, even when I'm on all these millions of vacations to make up for the 3 years that we were across the country from our family. And then sometimes I did, and sometimes I didn't. And so you have to make a plan and you have to know that chaos will happen. And then you have to ride the waves and you have to adjust your sails accordingly. I could have very easily, after my first few vacations where things weren't really going my way with what I had planned to do with my business, and said, oh, well, you know, it's done, it's over, whatever. Every time I'm on vacation, nothing happens. I get nothing done. I could do that. I could have done that, but I didn't. I kept coming back to the drawing board. Okay, well, I wasn't successful that time. What can I do differently this time? So when I just went to Delaware before our trip to Busch Gardens, I mapped out little pockets of time that I could work on my business. while I was in Delaware with my in-laws. And then while I was in Busch Gardens, I knew my 2 days were going to be pretty much open to close and we were going to be exhausted. So I tried to front load my work that I did do, my reach outs, my checking off my DMO before and then catching up a little bit after as well to try to make up for that. So just readjusting those sales. And so 2 quotes that I found today that I thought were really awesome with regard to challenges and roadblocks were, being challenged in life is inevitable. Being defeated is optional. And that is by Roger Crawford. So are you going to accept the challenges and just be like, all right, it wasn't for me? Or are you going to look at it as a challenge and find a way around it and not be defeated? And then the next quote that I wanted to share here was, challenges are what make life interesting, but overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. And that was by Joshua J. Marine. So what happens to you whenever you are met with challenges and you can't meet your goals? I want to see it in the chat if you're watching this live. Let's wake it up a little bit. How do you feel whenever you aren't able to meet your goals? Whether it's simple goals or big goals, like, oh, I didn't hit the rank I wanted, or I didn't get to my PD I wanted, or I didn't talk to new people today. Need to work on being flexible. Taylor gets bummed. She resets and starts over. That's a really awesome quality, and that's what everyone should strive to do. Suzette gets disappointed in herself. She tries to look at what she can do differently. I love that. Okay, so a lot of people feel bummed, disappointed, frustrated. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I get that way, I literally shut down. Like, I shut down. And this happened to me in this month. This is me speaking to myself as well today. Jess says she tends to feel defeated, like she can't do it, but she knows she can, so she tries to pick up the pieces. So yeah, so this is all natural. These are all natural responses to being met with challenges and roadblocks that prevent us from getting from our goals. And whenever we stay in those feelings, we are basically stripping ourselves of happiness and enjoying the process along the way. And so here's a definition, the definition of want. So she was talking about next about how it's important for us to pay attention to what we're saying and thinking with regards to our desires, because when we say I want something, you're by definition, you're speaking from lack and scarcity, because the definition of a want is a lack or deficiency of something that you don't have. So when you're saying, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, you're literally just speaking out to the universe and to sending out the vibrations of a lack from a scarcity mindset, basically. So whenever you say desire, I desire something, it's a strong feeling of wanting or wishing it to come true, right? So your focus, it's a more positive spin on the words that we use. And so we need to be mindful of how we're saying that. And whenever you truly desire something, you need to like dig deep and find your true desire. Like, what is the reason why you desire this so bad, this goal so bad? What is the reason why you desire to hit MM so bad? Is it, and that going back to what I read earlier in the Maxwell leadership, the daily reader about getting over ourselves, is it focused only on you, or is there a bigger picture? Are you focusing on the bigger picture and thinking about that and bringing that to existence? So this kind of I wanted to like talk about scarcity and abundance mindset, how those are impactful here. Scarcity mindset, we are just basically focusing on the negatives and focusing on everywhere we're stuck and we're hung up and we're limiting ourselves. We have limiting beliefs and we're like, oh, I can't do that. Like me being really raw right now at the beginning of August, whenever I looked at what I still needed for the Dominican Republic trip qualifications, I limited the mess out of myself. And that's why I shut myself down, you guys. And that's why I had to I've been trying to get myself back in the thing, but here I am again, days at the end, and probably, barring a miracle, it probably won't happen, but I haven't said it's not going to happen. In my head, I'm like, okay, I'm still going to do the work, because why? It's going to help me down the road, even if it doesn't get me the specific goal. And that is where I'm trying to focus my mind and get my mind reset back to that abundance thinking. And you have to believe that there's plenty out there for you. You cannot just focus on, oh, well, so-and-so else qualified for it and this person qualified for it, so that means I can't do that. So when you have a scarcity mindset, you are actually blocking your own blessings. And I have recognized that in myself, and I'm like, okay, it's time to reset. My mother-in-law, whenever she says or hears something, she's like, okay, let's erase that if it doesn't need to be out there. So I'm erasing that form of thinking, and I'm trying to get back into that abundance mindset, thinking, okay, there are market partners, there are VIPs, there are people who want and need this business or these products that are coming to me and that are being attracted to me, and I'm being guided to them. So I'm trying to reshift and get back into that abundance mindset. And then I saw a quote by Albert Einstein that said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So that's where I am at right now, changing my thinking about this and trying to get to a more abundant thought process right now. So here are some of the things like about roadblock thinking. So when we hit these roadblocks, some tips that we might be able to do is you can think, okay, this might not be good for me right now, or might not be what's best for me right now. And you can also think it is happening for me. It's just happening in a more magical way than I can even imagine for myself. So that's basically putting trust into God, the universe, a higher power, whatever you believe in, and just knowing that you're just on an alternate route. Okay. She shared an analogy about flying to San Francisco. So like, let's say you live where, we'll say DC, because that's where I live, and you want to fly to San Francisco. The easiest route obviously would be to get on an airplane and fly to San Francisco, and then you land in San Francisco and you're there. But let's say you get on a plane and you have a connecting flight in Dallas. Well, when you land, the flight you missed your connecting flight, but you still have to be in San Francisco by this date, or you're trying to be there by this date. So you look at another way to get there. Oh, I can take this credit and I can take this bus ride. And the bus ride might not get you all the way to San Francisco, but it'll get you close. So then when you get close, you might have to rent a car. So then you rent the car and you still drive and you get to San Francisco. So you still get from Washington, D.C. to San Francisco. It just might not be on the original route that you planned, but you have to always be thinking and knowing that there is an alternate route, and you hit this roadblock. So now let's find which other route I can work towards to get myself back onto track, back towards those goals, back towards that positive mindset. And she said that she had seen an analogy of life in TikTok, and I really want to look this up. I don't know how to look it up, but she said that basically in the TikTok video, it was like, you're in a car with universe or God, whatever you believe in, but you're the passenger. You get to pick the destination, but God or the universe is the driver, and you don't get to determine the route. So if you stop being a backseat driver and just enjoy the journey, then you're still going to get to the destination, and you're going to get there in a more positive way, because you're going to you're going to be able to relax and take in the good from the journey versus fretting over every little roadblock. Okay. And another thing that tends to happen whenever we are in this negative mindset spaces is we tend to like look at other people and compare, like, and like start, thinking things. Oh, well, they just had more followers than me, or, it's just them. I'm not as lucky. I'm not as good as them. I won't be as good as them. I can't because of that. So we need to stop comparing that, because we all have different journeys. We were all put on this earth for a specific reason and a specific journey. And we might not be able to fathom that, but there is a purpose and a plan for each and every single one of us. So we need to stop the comparison game and just realize goals aren't going to get any easier. We just are going to be the ones evolving, and we can only evolve if you have a positive mindset or you're working towards a positive mindset, an abundant mindset. And then there was also an analogy about your thoughts being the fuel for your feelings. And if you really think about that, that is so true. It is so true. What we think about guides how we feel, and how we feel guides what we do. It's just a natural connection. And so, is your thinking going to be is your thinking like low octane fuel that's kind of got crud in it and it's clogging up your engine, your car, your body that's on the journey of money and all these goals that we have, or life goals? Or are you putting in that high octane fuel, which is abundant thinking, positive mindset, redirecting ourselves, manifestation, believing that we have a purpose and we are here to do something bigger than ourselves? So next time you're kind of stuck in a rut, just kind of maybe have like a trigger word you can say, like fuel or something like that'll trigger your thoughts and be like, oh, maybe I should think about this. High octane fuel. Maybe you yell that at yourself. Crap magnet also works. I think I've said that in almost every one of my trainings. So if you haven't heard that, you need to just message me and I can share more on that with you. But it really works when you start thinking negatively and you yell that at yourself. You will laugh, and that'll change your thoughts, which change your feelings, which change your actions. Okay, another quote I found that I wanted to share with you guys was, I am responsible for every result in my life. If I want different results, I have to change my thoughts and my actions. And that quote brings me to the next thing that was requested that I talk about, which is mindset is super, super, super important, but it's not the only thing that's going to help bring your desires to fruition, you guys. We have to take action. You can't just post and pray. As much as we all want to, we all want to be able to be like, okay, message me if you're interested, and then have our inbox like flooded. Not happening. I'm sorry. It's not happening. You have to actually talk to people. You have to build relationships. I'm not saying that people won't reach out to you. I'm just saying that you're decreasing your chances of success if you are not actually in conversation with people more directly than you speaking openly and obviously to everybody, and then assuming that they're going to come message you. Okay. So we have to take action. And I had listened to a training with Amy Sloan and Sarah Reed recently. And Amy was saying that on her team, she asked people if they're ready to walk, jog, or run with her and for this business. So if you're interested in walking into your business, then you need to be having you need to have like 2 to 4 new conversations a day, 5 days a week minimum. And if you're ready to jog, if you're like, okay, I don't really want to walk, I have big goals and, medium goals, and I'm ready to do a little bit more than the walk, then you're ready to jog. And that means you're going to have 4 to 7 new conversations a day, 5 days a week, in order to talk about money with people. And then if you're like, I'm going for big goals and I'm ready to crush it, I'm trying to change my life as much as I can, as quick as I can, then you're here to run, and you need to be having at minimum 8 new conversations a day, 5 days a week. So I thought that was really cool. So she said 2, 4, and 8, if you want to make it easy to remember: walk, jog, run, 2, 4, 8, and each one doubles, right? So our business is network marketing, and it requires you to build relationships. So when we are networking, the definition of networking is the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. So you actually need to have those conversations. You have to build those relationships. You can't just follow people and not engage. You can't expect people to follow you and not engage with them as well. If you're looking to grow your business, you need to make that. And that goes for in person too. If you go to the store, talk to new people, have conversation, connect with them, not always with the purpose of just talking to them about Mon8, the next, the first message. Connect with them, ask them about their life, get to know them, and then go from there. And then the last thing I wanted to remind you about is there are so many bonuses. And I think I saw Stephanie say that in the comments over here. So many bonuses on the table this month, you guys. Everything is based off of your paid as rank for June. So let's say your career rank is AMM. And in June, you had a crap month and you hit MMP. Then you are able to get all the bonuses from A and B through MMB if you are able to achieve that by the end of July. And with that said, there are 6 nights left to lock in all these bonuses, including tonight. You showed up on this call because you desired to be poured into. Now I'm pouring into you, and now you can use that fuel and run. Go talk to 2, 4, 8 new people before you close your eyes and go to bed tonight. I'm gonna make that a challenge. Actually, if you do that, let's go to the post of me in that Stephanie shared earlier about this call, and comment in there how many new conversations you had tonight before you went to bed after this call. Nothing before the call counts, after the call. And let's get it done. Let's chop those trees, as John Maxwell says, since tonight is apparently a John Maxwell thing. Okay, I'm going to quickly scan the chat. If anyone has any questions that you want to share, feel free to unmic or drop them in the chat, and I will answer them. Lots of bonuses. Didn't make it. I like that. Taylor says when she's overwhelmed, when I'm overwhelmed, I need a nap, then I get back out there. So find whatever fuels you, resets you, and do it. Turning on music, I don't know, I love music, and if I can put on some pump up music, usually that will help bring me out of a slump, as long as I can like dance to it. Lots of bonuses. Yes, Stephanie says she loves that. When you have scarcity mindset, you're blocking your own blessings, and it's so true. Oh, you guys are welcome. Oh, I love that. Okay, well, oh wait, there's one new message. Anyone know if sponsor matching bonuses is offered this month? If it's not, it's original. I don't know. I don't think so, but Stephanie can chime in if she knows otherwise. Or Suzette, I don't know. I haven't heard about double sponsor bonuses.
I don't think so. I think it was just for the market partners, unless it's the first time that they've hit it.
Right. I think so too. All right. Good question. All right, everyone. Well, it's 9:02. I'm going to stop the recording, and y'all have a wonderful night. Thanks for coming.